Warning! Due to CBC budget cuts, warnings will now be 23.4% smaller. Please do not adjust your set. Good evening. Latest opinion polls show that in the wake of Paul Martin's dramatic budget, the Liberal Party continues to ride high. However, there is much talk tonight that the Liberal Party's Red Book is coming back to haunt Jean Chrétien.
But in order to gain your trust, we have the guts to put it in writing.
So you can come with this book in front of me every week after I'm the Prime Minister and say, where are you in your promises, Mr. Chrétien? And we'll do the checking.
Well, we've done some checking, and much of last week's budget was not in the book. Just look at that. It looks like, well, the pages are actually stuck together here. Oh, I see. There's actually, look, 3 never-before-seen Liberal policies in the page here. Number 1, the promise of jobs, jobs, jobs should not be interpreted as a pro-job policy. We will throw 45,000 people out of work the first chance we get. And number 2, all references to the Liberal Party honoring collective agreements are lies. And number 3, elect us, sucker, will make Brian Mulroney blush.
Last week's budget drew a mixed reaction from opposition parties and the international financial community.
Raised in new tax revenue over the
Following
next
the
3
budget,
years.
Reform leader Preston Manning responded by saying the cuts weren't deep enough. Later that day, Bloc Québécois leader Lucien Bouchard voiced his party's concerns. While on Bay Street, the president of the Royal Bank expressed his position.
In a remarkable act of moral courage, Reform leader Preston Manning stood up in the House last week and defended Canada's social safety net.
He has put social programs in the gravest of jeopardy.
Paul Martin rose in response.
Watching the Reform Party try to defend social programs is like watching an elephant tap dance.
Boy, is Paul Martin ever confused. Just for a reality check, Mr. Martin, this is an elephant dancing, and this is a Liberal delivering a budget.
A poll out of Quebec last week says that among those people still undecided about separation, 70% are no longer interested in the issue. This has led to a move by some people on the yes side to reword the referendum question in order to win a yes vote. Today at a Sovereignty Commission public hearing, the new question was asked for the first time.
Recently, a full-page ad appeared in all the major daily newspapers inviting college and university students to compete in an essay writing contest. The question, if you were the Prime Minister, what would you do to improve the living standards and unify the country? We're joined now by Larry Loam, a student in the International Relations Department of the University of Toronto. Hello, Larry.
If I was the Prime Minister of Canada, I would restructure the economy to suit the needs and wants of those who live in it.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Loam. Well, then, how would you go about restructuring the economy?
Huh?
How would you restructure the economy?
More juice.
More juice?
Where's my prize?
Your prize? I'm sorry, Mr. Loam. There's some sort of misunderstanding here.
I want my prize.
Of course, I know you answered the question, you want your prize, but we're in no way connected with the contest, you
I
see?
want my prize.
Yes, Mr. Loam.
I'm not leaving till I get my prize.
Well, that's all the time we have now.
The whole world is
until
watching.
Next time,
The whole world is watching.
Saying
The
good
whole
night
world
and
is
goodbye
watching.
and
The
good
whole
luck,
world
Mr.
is
Loam.
watching. Hey, you. Yeah, you. You're unemployed, aren't you? Yeah, you feel pretty bad, don't you? Well, don't despair, because today is your lucky day. Lloyd Axworthy wants you to have something.
cash? No. A job? Not likely. Lloyd Axworthy wants you to have this. And this. And this. Lloyd Axworthy wants you to have all these pamphlets. Feel pretty good? I guess so. And hey, you may not have a job, but at least now you've got something to read. Brought to you by the Ministry of Human Resources Canada, putting the ploy back in employment.
If you like to live alone, you're not alone. Let's check in now with this hour's very own Babe Bennett.
All right, sister. You say you've always lived alone and you like it that way. Just you, your cat, your phonograph, your rye bread toast, and your big goofy slippers. But every now and then you feel like you're missing something. You feel like you just got seated and the show is over. Or all the hors d'oeuvres are gone and you haven't even got your serviette yet. That's right. You feel like you're missing something because you don't have a man in your life. Well, hard don't make me laugh. Listen up, sister. If you're a single gal, believe you me, these are the good old days when there's nobody bugging you to go out dancing or to scrub your back or chop your firewood or do your taxes. When you can look in your closet and you can't see the forest for the shoe trees. So don't give in, sister, I'm telling you, or you'll end up like me. Crazy in love. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Sure, it's heaven for the first few days, but pretty soon you realize this guy needs more attention than an African violet. Never mind the fact that he likes to eat at all times of the day and he wants you to eat along with him. Pretty soon you've got to live with him because you're too fat to say no. Oh, all right. I've got a fella and yeah, he's swell. But you know what it's like. One day you want him so close, it's like you're wearing a wetsuit, only it's made out of him, you know what I mean? And then the next day, you look into his eyes, his great big baby blue eyes, and you wish that he was chopped into 1,000 pieces and scattered all over the world. Oh, I don't mean that. I'm just kidding. I'm just goofing around. I love men. They're great. Why, yes, sirree. Up with marriage. Why, a child in every cradle. Wait a minute. Now, this guy's really gotten under my skin. I didn't see it coming. Well, what do you know? I'm a couple. That's right. A couple. Excuse me. I got some packing to do.
A new type of riot gun is being tested by the American military. The gun slows down rioters by spraying a sticky orange glue-like substance which has been identified as Cheese Whiz. The weapon has been tested on Canadians with limited success. Unfortunately, the Canadians keep eating their way out of the delicious cheese spread.
Inspired by the handy nature of the Canadian loonie, Americans are saying that they want to replace their own $1 bill with a coin of their very own. Unlike the Canadian loonie, however, Americans want to call their coin the Eagle, and they want it to be worth the whole dollar.
The Royal Swedish Ballet Company has discovered that 8 of its principal dancers are pregnant. The dancers are all entitled to maternity leave, so the ballet is streamlining all of their productions and reducing the casts. One of the scaled-down productions will be Swan Lake, which is now titled Swan Pond.
International bondholders and traders are still jubilant over the new budget. So here's this hour's very own high roller, Dakey Dunn.
All right, I admit it. I am a weirdo. I don't live, breathe, and dream to cash. You know, I got other things on my mind. I don't know what they are right off the bat like that. But they are there. Other things. Boy, there's plenty of bucks out there going around. 1 trillion buckings whizzing around the globe every night of the week, being traded back and forth as a Game Boy. And the high rollers are having a ball. Come on, Snake Eyes, the baby needs shoes. Every country in the world is up to its arse in debt. To who?
Who do we owe this debt to? Do they have a debt they owe to someone else? Or do they owe their debt to us? Call a meeting, boy. Call the whole shagging thing off. Sure, it's only a bunch of numbers on a big computer terminal. Brazil don't pay us. We don't pay Japan. Japan don't pay... Well, if they don't owe any money, maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe we can promise never to drop any more nuclear bombs on them or something. I don't know. I don't have my grade 11. I flunked my algebra and my French just as well with the French, though, I suppose. After the referendum, I won't be burdened with a second language that's no longer any use to me. Sure, the States owed England a huge war debt after the First War. So did almost all the Allies. But England, ever gracious, said, boys, forget it. Carry on. Newfoundland, though, paid off her war debt. The only country in the Commonwealth to be that stupid. And Newfoundland have been basically on her knees ever since. So, Dead Schmidt, I suppose we'll really appreciate what the bucks are worth when we gotta start eating them. Oh, and by the way, Moody's, bite me.
God love the baby boomers, eh? Where would young people be today if it wasn't for the baby boom? What would the future hold? God knows, but maybe a job for starters. Never mind a hope in hell of ever seeing a pension. The baby boomers, they had her knocked. They got the jobs, they kept the jobs, and when they leave their jobs are canceled, leaving no more jobs. And now, with the longest life expectancy rate of any group since the beginning of time, they're gonna gallivant along and collect a pension until the funds are all gone or they're all 106, whatever comes first. And where does that leave anyone who was born after 1962? Sitting around, no job, no future, reading yet another Rolling Stone cover story about some sort of drug-addled 55-year-old rock star on yet another after-the-liver transplant comeback tour. Yeah, there's a very special place in heaven for the baby boomers. Only upside is they're going to die before we do, and then they're going to have to wait 30 years for us to show up to flip their burgers and make them their fries.
Two amateur astronomers in Nova Scotia discovered a supernova on February 14th. The discovery of the exploded star was confirmed last week by the International Astronomical Union. This is the first recorded discovery of a supernova by Canadians. The star exploded 76 million years ago, but the light from it reached the Earth only last month. This has inspired scientists to christen the supernova Post Office 11295.
Well, she's flat as the prairies and twice as wide. Here's this hour's prairie correspondent, Connie.
I just can't seem to scarf down enough of these maple dips, to quell my own sense of rising panic and anxiety. I mean, strap 200 pounds of dried meat to my back, and make me portage back and forth across the Canadian Shield, but how about those Liberals, They really did take out a contract on Canada. I mean, strip me of my subsidies, Put so many holes in the social safety net that the icy wind whistling through is enough to give you a cold in your kidneys. Dunk my head repeatedly in the frigid waters of the free market economy, But I'm seeing end times, I'm seeing world government. I'm seeing ordinary Canucks going around with the demon's number tattooed as a barcode on their foreheads, So then when they make a cash transaction, all they got to do is wipe them across the reader and ka-ching. The central world government knows exactly where they are. I see the seven-headed beast, rising out of the sea as foretold in Revelations. And it is the G7, coming up out of the Bedford Basin, coming right into Halifax, with, of course, the wounded head being Germany. It is Armageddon, eh? And when the lion lies down with the lamb, you'd want to be the lion, wouldn't you? You'd be a whole lot safer, eh? But you can't be the lion because they enacted the gun control laws before they brought down the budget. I'm getting off the grid, man. I'm going to the foothills of Alberta with some semi-automatics and a generator. A great big mother of a generator because it looks like I'm going to need a whole lot of donuts, eh?
You are watching DNTWN. Definitely not the Women's Network.
Oh, there you go.
Clap, clap.
Welcome back.
Boys, oh boys.
Time flies when you're watching the type of high-quality, issue-oriented programming that we bring you on Definitely Not the Women's Network.
And that was, of course, Chuck Norris in 16 years in a bamboo cage.
If only he knew that that door opened in.
Okay, coming up this week.
On Tuesday, we have a change in the regular schedule.
Yes, although we did promise in our CRTC application not to do this, we've changed our minds, and tomorrow we will be running porn all day.
It's called Pornography Tuesday on DNTWN.
Indeed, and on Wednesday we'll be opening tins of food with an axe.
We have a clip.
Looks good.
We've all been there.
And on Thursday, we will be writing a series of chants for the really big gun rally coming up, and I do believe we have an excerpt.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! And that's pretty much what we've got so far.
And on Celebrity Friday, the man himself, W.J. Ryan of W.J. Ryan and Sons Plumbing Limited, will be here overseeing the installation of a stand-up porcelain urinal underneath the caramel.
I can't wait.
And that brings us to the weekend, and we won't be here.
On Saturday, we'll be getting up at 6 in the a.m. and lining up for Sunday's grand opening of the new Pipeline gas station. First 50 cars get a free fill-up and a Pipeline ball cap.
Free gas and a hat. Yum, yum. It's worth the wait.
In the meantime,
Put a dent in that couch.
put your recliners at ease
and keep the faith.
Now it's time to check out this week's edition of the Campbell File with Sandy Campbell.
Hi, I'm Sandy Campbell, and I'll tell you what's crazy. Last week in Italy, there was a food fight where 250 people were injured. Sounds like that time I made those green cracker pork nuggets for hubby's family reunion. In our neighborhood, it's remembered simply as the Bay of Pigs. This is spooky. According to the Chinese lunar calendar, this year has 2 Augusts. The Chinese see this as a very bad omen. The last time it happened, there was a terrible earthquake. Mao Zedong died, and Kathy Lee Gifford signed her first record deal. This is crazy. People in Australia say they want more sex, but they're just too damn tired. I know how they feel. Sometimes you don't even feel like putting on the costume. Did you hear about that study out of Yale University that says women use more of their brains than men do? That's a shocker. When I told Hob, he almost dropped his Game Boy into his Scarios. Did you know there's a village in China where businessmen from Hong Kong go to visit their mistresses? They call it Second Wife Village. Well, it must be on Bimbo Bay, just outside of Scumbag City, I guess. I don't understand about the English people, though. They're getting ready to open a rock opera about Charles and Diana. I wouldn't want to write the lyrics for those songs. I mean, how many words are there that rhyme with tool? I'm Sandy Campbell.
Reacting to last week's budget, CBC President Tony Manera shocked many people by announcing his resignation. The question on many minds inside and outside the CBC was who will replace the former president. And just moments ago, the Prime Minister appointed a new president for the CBC. We now go to the new president's press conference in progress. He is none other than Tony Manera's younger brother, Marty Manera.
Primetime news, too prime time, too much news. Gone, David Suzuki, no one cares. Gone, Sesame Street, I don't get it. Gone, Peter Zosky, yell at the Prime Minister. Gone, front page challenge, stay the course.
There you have it, the lovable Marty Manera. We will keep you posted as the 8-hour marathon cuts to the CBC special continues. Hail to the chief. I love you, Marty.
And gosh, that goes double for me. It was the biggest counterfeit bust in Canadian history. Last week in Montreal, the RCMP and U.S. Secret Service agents seized more than $27 million in American $100 bills. Police were alerted when an unnamed bank teller was sharp enough to notice that American bills aren't usually spent in sheets of 3.
Last week, an Australian biologist discovered a breed of kangaroo that was believed to be extinct. Elizabeth Sinclair found 2 Gilbert's rabbit kangaroos which have not been seen by anyone since 1869. Sinclair says that this extremely rare breed is smaller than most kangaroos, it's lighter in color, and tastes sort of like chicken.
Last month's publication of the Cambridge International Dictionary of English is attracting a lot of attention for its special section of false friends. Words and phrases that mean one thing in one country, but something entirely different in another. For instance, knocking someone up in Britain means to wake them up. In the United States, it means to knock someone up. Another interesting example is the word liberal, which in America has come to mean bohemian, but in Canada is just another word for hypocrite.
Well, that's the way we saw the world this week. For all of us here at This Hour Has 22 Minutes, I am J.B. Dixon saying, in this, the International Year of Tolerance, couldn't the government of Singapore just leave poor 28-year-old Nick Leeson alone? Come on, it's not like he was caught vandalizing cars. He only single-handedly destroyed a 233-year-old bank that once financed the Napoleonic Wars. Jeez, not bad for a kid from the wrong side of town. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
The world at 6, the world's your oyster. Gone, what on it, not on it. Gone, midday, wrong time slot. Gone, Lister Sinclair, no more Brits. Gone, air fast, ratings too high. Gone, as it happens, that's the way she goes. Gone, Robert Scully, cut your hair. Gone, the live show, you are dead. Gone, the urban peasant, pack your potatoes. Gone, ear to the ground, 6 feet under. Gone, the Fifth Estate, write your will. Gone, Mr. Dress Up, you wore your last dress. Gone, side effects, you are terminal. Gone, Fred Penner, enough said. Gone, him sing, try humming taps. Gone, Quirks and Quarks, way too quirky. Gone, Canadian Gardener, it's Canada. Gone, Marketplace, there is none. Gone, north of 60, north of nowhere. Gone, Witness, way too depressing. Gone, The National, not without a nation. Gone, On the Road, hit the road. Gone, Reed and Friends, way too saucy. Gone, Theodore Tugboat, his lips don't move. Gone, Hockey Night in Canada, who watches hockey? Gone, Rhode Avonlea, sell it to the Japanese. Gone, Adrian Clarkson, Maddie don't like her. Gone, 22 minutes, way too loud. Gone.